What's up, guys? Welcome back once again. Friends, today's story is about such a person who has struggled in his life. Do not face any kind of difficulties. But one day his life took a turn. And then what no one thought happened. A man named Fu, who is the CEO of a company, and in a small plane towards Antarctica, going where he believes he is will create space for wedding destination, and his company will be the first to do so that he will get a lot of profit after this week. Natasha sees two girls in front who, that is a model, and Jing, which is a science. Apart from being a photographer, he is also just a pilot. Actually, this plane has very limited resources going along because the place where these people, very few people are going there. Well, let's go here in front of Fujing. Tells a lot about yourself. Like how rich he is, where does he go? So and so has been so and so. But the same feeling is there. On the contrary, she has a very calm nature. That's why I quietly read my books. She is studying, but these three don't like it. Know that after some time, there will be such a thing for them. The time is coming which they have shown in pictures. I must have seen it, yes, after some time. To whom it is necessary to reach near the mountains of Kantaka. Strong winds start coming from their planes, starts colliding, due to which the plane starts shaking, and at one point it is about to hit a mountain, but the pilot took him up just in time. But then he is faced with a big storm. Happens in which the plane just disappears. In which the plane seems to disappear, and thus the pilot can't see anything in the whirlwind. He goes and hits a high mountain, in which the pilot is the first to die. Falls down from the plane along with the seat, but the three people sitting behind were still alive, and after some time their plane started descending. It takes place among the mountains of Antarctica. Goes in and crashes around the bus. There was nothing but snow and darkness. The eyes were closed, but we didn't know it. Who is alive, or who is dead? Here Fu's eyes open first. Immediately goes out and looks around. So he understands that the place where these people crashed and actually covered in snow. This is Antarctica, and the only plane from here. And ships pass by which are there is important work, so they do it themselves. Well, first it just crashed. Go inside the plane so that your companions. Natasha was in a bad condition. Looks like blood was coming from his mouth. He fell here and there because of the seat belt. Couldn't find it. He immediately brings it out. After which he again goes and looks at Zinc. She was also conscious, but her leg was on the plane. It was stuck under the string when he tried to lift it. If the plane tries to disbalance, starts up and sinks under the snow. It seems that Fu gets very scared and starts running away, but when Jink hears him screaming at her. It's a pity he goes back inside again and immediately get it out somehow. But the time he comes out, at that very moment, the plane would sink into the snow below. And here he radioed the plane to someone. Couldn't even contact that trick. Now they are also immersed in water. We have to think. But the condition of both here is very bad. Now the Jing and Fu here have deteriorated. Let's see, Natasha doesn't respond anything. If she is doing it, then they get scared and they call again and again. But after some time, they come to know that she is now dead. Maybe he has some internal injury. But here Zinc says we can do it here. But can't leave you alone, so Fu one. Stretcher fixes broken planes from the part, and then drag both there. Now Zinc starts moving from. Was also in no condition to walk, and that is why. He has to take himself to a safe place. But it is not that easy because they encounter an avalanche in the distance, which was coming towards them and seeing. Jing says dig us a hole immediately. If you have to go inside, then get busy. Goes, and as soon as the avalanche arrives, both of them are inside it. This is how they go in that avalanche. But they saved Natasha. The dead body was left above, which some vultures come and start eating now when they come out. So Fu says that we have to put it right here. Must be buried because I carry such a heavy burden. I can't go ahead with this, even Zinc. She agrees, after which both of them. Let's bury it all, enough for Jing. It is emotional because he has loved Natasha for years. I knew from the beginning that she came here only on his request. She came, but now she has to move forward alone. It will happen if you want to save your life. But she can't walk, and that's why Fu is a good. Fulfills the duty of being a human being and keeps you sitting behind you and moves ahead. But meanwhile, these people fall many times because there were too many places to walk. Was not easy, and when one turn if you are going down the hill, then Fu's foot slips and Jin falls. His foot hits a stone, due to which she faints. When he regains consciousness after several hours, he finds herself in a safe house which looks like an old cottage. She is very happy and calls out Fu. She said thank you to the one who was sleeping because he saved her life, but she makes him one last request, which is the bone of his leg will have to be straightened, otherwise infection may occur. Because of this, she may even die, but Fu says that it will hurt you a lot, and I don't even know how to do this, but Jingher doesn't listen and tells me to do it, and Fu completed that work with great difficulty, in which Zinc feels very painful and faints, but she straightens it, but it's still proper. He had not straightened properly, so he felt something. We'll have to stay in bed all day. Now here I say Fu. Is it that I look around and come back? I hope we can find some useful stuff. Goes out wearing the same hat that Natasha wears, because it was his last sign. Now he wanted to keep it with himself in the cottage. If he goes back, then it is very difficult to get a generator. But somehow it starts. And because of that, the heater in the cottage is on. When someone goes, it feels good to see this. Now she feels some other things after this. If he searches, he will find something to eat and drink there. Goods worth Rs. 1,000 were also available on which Chinese cheese was written in the language, which was called Jing. Seeing it, you understand because this cottage is real. It was created by a Chinese researcher, i.e. nearby is the Chinese Aurora Station, which Antarctica's only research center. It is an institute, and I am very happy to hear this, and asks him if we are there. Can reach. Jing tells that this is not so easy because before we have, so food is limited, so it will last for a few days. After that, there is only 200 liters in the generator. Has fuel, which will last for approx 75 days. But we only need him for 4 hours a day. We have to use whatever we have. It's something, it's just 75 days, so let's go summer. So winter will come after a few days, and we will have more trouble because it will be very difficult to bear the cold. After hearing everything, Fu was ready for this challenge to take because right now they have no one else. There is no way, he says it's okay. I will go out in different directions every day to find that station on. For this, they will have to make a proper plan, which Jing makes it the next day and explains to him that we only have to go in 3 directions, will be in which there is no north, but not the. He listens, and then he just walks away. Lives. And it is just covered with snow far and wide. Nothing else is visible, and 3 such days pass, but nothing comes. And that's why now that Jing's told, he goes towards the direction, and there too he finds something. I can't get it, but whenever he comes back. So he gave Jing a false hope that he may have seen something there yesterday. Find something there so he doesn't lose hope. Now one day when he reached the south pole of Antarctica, if he happens to be near icebergs that are about to break, was going to happen. But now he is safe and sound. 14 days pass like this. They were getting only disappointment, and the food was slowly ending. And then one. Din Jing tells him that you will have to increase the speed 4 times a day. You will have to walk at a speed of 1 km. Only then you will reach every. You will be able to cover a little more distance every day. Goes. And then the next day after feeding Jing, it turns out that he is also short of food. So he went with a tool he made. Tries to catch the fish that catches. She also comes here, but there she encounters. Becomes a problem which is very gonna be big when he comes back. It happens that at that very moment his foot steps on an ice, due to which the surface there slips, and she went down into a big ditch, falls in, and finds him after a full 13 hours. Comes to his senses when he looks around him. So one loses hope, because here, it's impossible to get out of, because this cave is closed from all sides, and that lies down there, because there is no use. This is how 2 days passed at that place. Jing goes there to wait for his arrival. She lies hungry, and doesn't understand anything, wondering why he didn't actually come for a long time. After that, she gets up on her own and goes to the generator, because there was a very strong storm coming outside while he was painting. Now she feels very cold as she goes there, but it took so long to start the generator. It was not easy. She tries very hard, but it doesn't happen when 2 days pass. So Fu thinks that if he dies then, not alone, but because of him another life will go away. And she will be zinc, so she will then. Stands up and looks around. At one place, he saw a small crack, provides with which he starts climbing up. Maybe he will reach her. On the other hand, we see Zinc, which is now had lost courage because the generator started. Maybe he couldn't even believe it anymore. It happened that Fu is dead, that's why he… There, I pricked the vein of my hand with a sharp object. She gets bitten, and she becomes unconscious, and remains lying there, but on the other side. Through the snow and through life in the dark. He was fighting, and his courage pays off. Had done it by breaking through the ice. Comes and runs towards the cottage, where she found it lying near the Zing generator. If you meet him, and he masturbates, his breathing will stop. And she was conscious. That is why she immediately picks him up and takes him inside and applies ointment to him. When he regains consciousness, he explains to her that you dare not give up. I have just come back from a fight with death, and here you accepted yourself in a moment. I have decided not to take any such big steps now. Picking up zinc somewhere now Fu likes. Started trying because she tried her best. Was trying to get out of here. Sadly, he hasn't been successful yet. Well, now I have stayed here for 40 days. Now one day when Fu out to find that station again. Goes now because it's too cold. His eyesight would stop working. Everything seems blurry to him, so he starts coming back. But by the time he arrived, he couldn't see anything. I even had my own cottage, and because of this, he starts falling and he calls loudly for his. Lucky that Jink heard his voice. Takes it and comes out and gives him the right direction. Tells with the help of which she can reach him. Goes and she hugs him. It is said that this happened because here, but the ice rays without any reflection. And in such a situation, there is no point in seeing it. Even a man can be blind. He can give him a cloth. Gives it to be tied, so that after 3 days it… That's right, now they're both good friends. Were made, and once they were made right. Then he goes out wearing the same clothes. But this time he was not in a ditch but falls into the cold waters of the sea. Because the surface where it stands is very weak, he tries very hard. I want to come up, but there is no use. Then his eyes fall on some penguins who was coming up from a path, and she goes back and slowly floats up. And his blood has now begun to clot, because his whole body got wet. On top of that, the air here was freezing his blood. He walks as usual, but his hair is bearded. Everything was frozen, but he did not dare. It was coming. He kept walking and finally till the cottage. Reaches there, but Jing is in such a condition. She gets very scared after seeing it, and immediately goes with him. Goes to sleep so she can get some warmth. Now next day Fu's condition is a little better. Happens after which he leaves again. But here he sees that his shoes. There are no shoes, in fact they were in the water that day. That's why he got lost in Natasha's body. Goes over and takes off his shoes. Takes it and wears it. Now here it is again. And now they are given 50 days. I went upstairs, but couldn't find anything. Now the zinc legs are also slowly healing. She started having fun a little bit every day. Makes him exercise so that he can walk faster. Started. But one day someone will arrive at their door. They think maybe it could be a polar bear. That's why he is afraid. Go, but when they open the gate, there they meet a penguin who… Fu starts coming inside their cottage. Tries to kill, but Jing so. And like a stomach. Now both of them start keeping each other. One day, I started liking the company of others. Fu out of skating one of his own. He even takes her for a ride. Penguins also come and sit at one place. While resting, Jing notices that his nose is bleeding. But what about this? I don't tell anything to Fu until one day when both of them are laughing a lot at something. That's why Zink's nose started bleeding again, it seems. And he sees this 12 Fu tells him that vitamin E deficiency is actually… It's happening, I need vegetables. If this continues like this, then in a few days I will. My teeth will start falling, and then my hair will fall out. It will take effect and slowly I will die. But don't you worry about me. Gotta stay alive for myself. That whole night Fu goes and spends it because now I started loving her, so she didn't want to die. Can give when the next morning comes. And that too just with the imagination ring he promises her. That's if his teeth broke, if his hair. Even if he ejaculates, he will still be with her. No matter what happens, he will not agree to it. Degafu says, I am also with you. I want to stay, but maybe the God above. This is not acceptable, and that is why you come here again and again. But don't come back to the station now. Just find me. I'll take care of myself. But Fu doesn't listen. He comes back again and again. Is because he can't leave her alone. One day he goes to a place with Zinc, where they spend a good time at Fu. Says now I'm tired like this. Maybe both of us are here as we walk every day. But mana is written. But it says that Mana is in my destiny, not yours. You have to fend for yourself. We have spent so many days together. He has a good. You have to give the ending so the next day. Start walking again, and this 12. They face a storm that's all snow. Had frozen but stands up again. And finally he comes to a sign, which is actually of Chinese Aurora Research Center. So friends, I have finally reached there. And after reaching there, he sits down. He didn't have the strength to walk, and then something happened. Seeing him, people immediately come out and tells that in the same cottage with him. He is trapped, so they take him from their truck. Go to get it. But then there is a big launch is coming right in front of him. The whole cottage gets engulfed in that avalanche, in which it was impossible for even Zinc to survive. Cries and screams, but it's too late. He is completely disappointed, and that's why he faints right there crying. Now one night when his eyes were in the same research, when it opens, he finds the same Zinc with him. A ready-made survival book is available in which it was written how actually from avalanche can be avoided. It comes to mind as soon as I read it, that Kai Jing is not so easily persuaded, is and will definitely be alive, and that is why she immediately takes a bike and goes to the same cottage. He was lucky that he found a pit there, found in which Jing was lying. He saved himself from the avalanche. Friends, now he hugs her and we cry a lot, only then we see Aurora light in the sky. Jing is very happy to see. She tells him that when did I do it? I had given up hope, but you made me live. If taught to a person anything in life, if you want to achieve, then you have to have the most. First you need to have the strength to fight difficulties. This story should end here. It is said that Fu did not lose courage. That is why. His life was saved, and so was his love, and he also found his love. That's why you always have to fight to get something. Hey friends, how did you like this story below? Please let me know by commenting. See you next time in the video.